Alright, Battletech fans, so here we are with another unboxing, and this time both he and I managed to get our hands on some of the hot new Clan Buster Black Knight figurines from Creative Juggernaut and Blaine Lee Pardoe. And we've got them here, and we're going to crack them open, give them a review for you. You about ready to do this?
Oh, hell yeah, my man.
Alright, let's cut them open.
Mine had a neat little pull tab I found.
Oh, nice.
Right.
You know me, I'm just like, force that sucker open.
I love the fact this packaging is tiny as hell.
I was gonna say it is out of the box. It is a pretty small package, but you know what they say. You know, a small package can be very effective when expertly applied. So
It's about the motion of the laser.
All right, so let's bust them open.
Did you just?
Yes, I did. I'm glad you caught that.
I feel like I'm opening drugs. Not that I know what that's like.
There are very, very tiny pieces in this thing.
Yeah, that's why I'm dumping it out into my hand. Ah, I found the sword.
He's got a sword! Idiots! We all have swords! So look at the detail on these guys.
Alright.
See, I've heard, because several folks have gotten them and they've been complaining that there is like heavy mold lines and all that stuff, but I'm looking, you know, I'm really not seeing any mold lines here. I guess I got a good one.
I got a few, but it's not something that I can't take care of. It's not a big deal.
Oh, there's a little bit of flash on this hand here.
I got a leg.
But that, if I just get my tweezers out, I'll be good to go on it.
Right. Not a big deal at all. The hands are so
tiny.
Yes, that, exactly that.
The Black Knight head looks pretty clean to me. Oops. Of course, these pieces are a little squirrely, so I'd say if you're assembling them, just be very careful.
Right? I look forward to putting this thing together.
And there's the hand, I suppose, that holds the sword.
Oh, that's the hand that holds the sword. It's on there already.
Oh, it already has a hand on there. Okay, see, I didn't notice that.
So you've got...
I thought that was just a sprue.
No. You've got two choices for hands for each arm, it looks like.
Yeah.
You've got a sword hand,
Okay.
and then an open hand.
Okay.
That.
Yeah.
And then you've got the open hand on the right, and then a closed fist.
I like the open hand. It's like it's making a pose like this, you know?
Right.
Like it's got a sword in one hand and the other hand is like, lead this way! You know, that kind of thing?
We've got three. This is a closed fist for the left as well. So we've got open hand, closed fist, and then the left hand has a sword. Whereas the right is that bad boy.
Look at the detail on the bottom of the feet, though.
On the bottom of the feet?
Yeah, because you would expect these things to be glued to the hex base, you know, or barely...
Yeah.
You wouldn't expect to see that, is what I'm saying.
That's not something you look at, no.
No, this thing has a shoe print.
So there's our other arm. Our base.
Yeah, mine doesn't have any mold lines that I can see. That appear, I mean...
This leg here's got it right there. But the other one does not.
That was the straight one?
Yeah. Straight left leg.
Oh, mine looks pretty clean.
So I have a bent left leg as well.
See, I can barely see it, but I mean,
right. There's not much to it.
I can't really see any flash on that or mold lines even. I mean, it's ever so faint. Because I was just seeing people having made these posts where they were just like, you know, oh, I've got hella mold lines and oh, it's terrible, and I'm just like, oh, okay. This could be, because they're plastic, it could be, you know, they vary from miniature to miniature, even in the same run. And so I was kind of excited just to see what it looked like, to see whether or not I got one of those, because if nothing else, I can just shave it off with an X-Acto. But, God, this thing looks pretty freaking clean.
It does. I'm really liking the way the arms look. Of course, we've got the torso here.
Go ahead.
And the torso with its myriad of lasers there.
Yeah. That's got like PPC, large pulse, it's got a bunch of different things on it.
So yeah, we've got...
Look at you all organized and I'm just like... Screw it!
Like, I'm like,
Throw it out
yeah,
there,
we're gonna
fuck
put things here, and here are the arms, and we got the legs down here, and then there's the head.
I like that PPC barrel though.
Right?
Yeah,
Oh,
I think
I'm loving this. So the Black Knight is one of my all-time favorite mechs, and as soon as I heard they were doing a Clan Buster variant, I knew that I would stab someone to get one. Not literally.
So we kind of got lucky.
Legally.
So what? Tell everybody your story behind how you managed to get a hold of this guy, and then I'll tell mine.
So, I haven't been on Facebook myself in several months, so the majority of the announcements I don't get. But I do browse Reddit on my lunch breaks and whenever I'm bored, you know, on the toilet like you do. And I just happened to be on my lunch break the day they dropped this, and it was like 7 minutes after it came up, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Oh, it's still open. Just gonna order me one of those. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Just got lucky on time.
Well, I happened to be on the phone with Pat Saul, one of the moderators at Battletech International.
Oh yeah, I know Pat.
We were talking. In fact, we've had him on the show before. We were talking about this miniature and how he was going to shut down any scalpers. Like, if you see any scalpers, tell me. I'll shut it down. I'll kick them out. I'm not having that. And no scalpers, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's cool. And then we started jib-jabbing as you do. We started talking about wrestling. We started talking about like other stuff, things like that of that nature. And then eventually we hung up. We've been talking a good half hour, I believe, something like that. Hung up the phone. And then I opened up Facebook, and I had completely and totally forgotten that the release date for this thing was that day. So that totally was not even in my mind at all, okay? Except for the fact that we talked about it, but I didn't know when that was going to be. You know, I didn't remember it was going to be that day or some other day. So I jump on Facebook, and then I see a post from Kaisaw David Vivas on Everything Battletech, and it's like, you know, may the odds be ever in your favor. And I'm like, oh. Well, by the time I saw it, it was 27 minutes old. And I was like, oh, well, I'm sure I'm lost out on this. But okay, I lose nothing for trying, so I clicked on it, and lo and behold, it sold me one. But, you know, it was limit one. And I was all right, screw it. We got it. Great. And that's when I messaged you, and you were like, funny thing. You know, funny you mentioned that. And I'm like, oh, my God, did you get one? And you're like, I did. So
I did. And so, yeah, no, I'm looking forward to putting this together, and...
yeah, I'm gonna have a separate video where I put this thing together and we paint it, and I'll paint it up nice and, you know, pay your bills, Comstar, that kind of thing.
Like you do. Speaking of which, we've got
a few comm guards.
A few comm guards just hanging out here on the table. I believe you're doing these for
Justin King, yes.
Yes. So, Justin, when you see this, he is working on your stuff. Can confirm, and it looks good.
So, okay, what do you want to rate this stuff on? Let's start with quality. What do you feel like?
Quality so far.
Out of 10.
Out of 10. I'd give it, like, personally, I'd give it a 9 so far. Okay. Pending my ability to put it together.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for me, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm in that ballpark, 8.5. You know, 9. Just, I mean, there's a little flash, but that's to be expected. So I don't really knock it for that. You know, I don't know if a perfect 10, you know, exists, but the stuff we got from Derek was pretty cool. So this I would say is you know, it's not 3D printed, so it's smooth, and I like this a lot.
Right.
So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm in that ballpark with you. So what else would you want to rate it on?
Posability?
Oh God, it's got to be a 10 on posability. There's
Easily.
just so many different poses you can make here, you know.
I mean, the thing has 5 hands.
And 3 legs, evidently. So yeah, you can...
I'm going to make this thing do a Superman pose. That's it, just... Burr, burr, burr.
Oh, jeez. You know, and the sword is super detailed. You know, I love that.
Right? I'm a huge fan of that. Anything that's got a melee weapon is something that I want to try to use.
But I love how they gave you, you know, 3 legs there, so you can just kind of pose whatever you would, standing still or in motion. I always like to make miniatures that are moving. They look like they're stepping off the hex, or they're turning around in the hex, so it looks like there's some kind of action going on there.
So with the bent leg here, I feel like they're just asking you to put a piece of a Mad Cat underneath its boot.
Yeah, that would be great.
Just right there.
Yeah, like a leg or a gun or hell, even the torso.
Yeah.
You know, and it would just step over
It's just begging for it.
So
basically, and of course, if you've already put it together, send Tuck pictures of it because I want to see them all.
I'll put the email on the screen right now. Bam! Magic. And you can send it right there. So, okay, for the money that you spent, $25 on this, and I believe we spent a few bucks for shipping.
Something like that.
Something like that. Okay, so value for the money.
Value for the money. So
is it worth? Because there's so many complaints right now. Not for that price. And I'm just like, all right, well, hold on, wait till you get in your hands.
It's a not for that price, but for what, $8 less, you're getting a mini already put together, and you don't get to decide what the pose is. This, sure, you can cut it apart and put it all, glue it all back together yourself, which I know a lot of people love doing that, but
yeah, the standard Black Knight, its feet are fixed.
If I want to throw something, if I want to pose something,
and the standard Black Knight doesn't come with a sword or a hatchet either. Like the blister, you buy that from Iron Wind.
Yeah, no, 25 doesn't feel terrible.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't want to spend $25 per miniature on every miniature I purchased, but I feel like for this one-off kind of thing, you know, this it's kind of like a special run type gimmick. I'm just like, yeah, okay. Once, you know, in a blue moon or once every so often, I could see doing that. But yeah, I wouldn't want to spend $25 each and every miniature.
Right, because we're not going to use all of these pieces.
Right.
And I mean, what am I going to do with all these extra hands?
You can use them on bases and things like that.
You're right. I could.
You just brought up stepping over something. I'm like, well, you could do the same thing.
Yeah, you could put one of these little open hands there, with a fist even, or you could just, you know,
eat it, because why not? I feel like the price for a one-off mini is this time around is fine. I wouldn't want to do it X amount of times or whatever, but I personally don't see this as egregious. You know, there's so many people going, oh, you know, it's starting to turn into Games Workshop, and I'm just like, oh, shut up, oh my god.
Listen, I can still paint this however I want. This is not even nowhere near Games Workshop.
So, you know, I'd say when they come around again, because they'll make more. They've already talked about it. They're already going to make more of these guys. So, you know, I'd say this is a buy if you had the opportunity to do it.
It's one of those, if you have the opportunity and you like the variant that they're producing, just buy it. Because it's something that you want to, we want to support our community.
Sure, and this is U.S. based. That's what the whole gimmick was. They were going for
part of the whole thing, and we want to kind of avoid the shipping troubles.
Yeah, you won't have to worry about Chinese New Year. You won't have to worry about things getting stuck in the whatever canal that was.
Right.
I can't remember the name of it.
Suez.
Yeah, there you go. I wanted to say Suarez, but I knew I was wrong. You won't get stuck on the Ever Given, you know, or anything like that.
Exactly.
It's U.S. based, so I mean, there is something to be said there.
Yeah. So I think if they do this again, if they did another Black Knight, I probably wouldn't do it again.
Yeah.
But if they did, you know, the PPC catapult variant.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Might do that.
Yeah.
Or another really unique variant that we don't usually see in mini form.
Right. Yeah, I'd give you that.
Yeah.
The other thing I would have to say is, if you're not willing to pay this price for it, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But
yeah, not knocking you for that. Trust me.
But nobody cares. You can shut up about it. It's not gonna hurt you to be quiet.
Yeah. Let people enjoy things.
Yes! Let people enjoy things. Good lord, I enjoy this. He enjoys it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would too. Hell, if Tally was not a cat and was a human, she would probably enjoy it too.
The fists are kind of tasty. I'd keep them away from her.
Yeah, so. Alright, well, we hope that's helped you out on whether or not you want to go ahead and pick one up, but I would definitely recommend it, and I suppose he would too.
Can recommend.
And thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time out on the Space Lanes.
Unbattlebound.
Oh, Tally wanted to say goodbye too.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.
Crowdfunding is when lots of people give you small amounts of money to help your passion project come to life.